In a shocking development that has sent shockwaves through the celebrity world, Prince Harry and his wife Meghan Markle were arrested early this morning by FBI agents after a dramatic raid on their Montecito mansion. The Duke of Sussex now faces extensive prison time after being found guilty of illegal phone hacking and wiretapping in a secret federal case. Just after 6 a.m. local time, a massive contingent of over 50 armed FBI personnel surrounded the couple's $14 million California estate and used a battering ram to smash through the front entrances. Footage captured by news helicopters showed a dazed and terrified-looking Harry being dragged out in handcuffs and leg shackles as Meghan screamed, "This is a terrible racist hate crime." Within minutes, the couple's 3 children were also ushered out by child services workers as the language federal investigation into the royal family's former Buckingham Palace hub continued inside the luxurious compound. Numerous pieces of evidence and computer equipment were seized in box truckloads as investigators looked for bombshell new material connected to the prince's secret wiretapping case. The extraordinary raid stemmed from a 2-year investigation by the Department of Justice into widespread illegal spying Harry allegedly orchestrated against British royal family members, aides, and senior government figures dating back over a decade. Authorities claim he routinely hired hackers and private investigators to illegally obtain private communications including voicemails, emails, and text messages, all in hopes of sabotaging rivals or leaking damaging publicity stunts to gain media leverage. Today's arrests represent the U.S. government's refusal to allow members of the royal family to put themselves above the law and conduct wanton criminal enterprises, declared Attorney General Sunny Hostin during a Washington, D.C. press conference just hours after the Montecito raid. No one gets a free crime pass just from being born lucky into an exceedingly privileged class system where cheating and illegally manipulating circumstances became accepted norms. Despite staunch denials, substantial evidence soon emerged implicating Harry as essentially the mastermind behind a vast, clandestine conspiracy violating both UK wiretapping prohibitions and US computer fraud statutes. In fact, Justice Department sources say he could face over a decade in federal prison after senior judges found him definitively guilty of orchestrating multiple criminal schemes targeting royal staff members, paramours of Prince William, and even elderly nobles. Make no mistake, Prince Harry flagrantly arrogated powers to himself and treated Buckingham Palace like the center of some sophisticated mafia criminal enterprise where anything went: blackmailing, payoffs, espionage, harassment, you name it. Hostin continued. Today's charges really just scratched the sinister surface of the breathtaking abuses and flagrant criminality he habitually indulged for years right under Queen Elizabeth's nose. According to DOJ documents, the investigation began after a disgraced former palace communications staffer named Mark Avery began cooperating as an informant following his 2020 arrest for money laundering and racketeering. Avery came forward with extensive evidence of Harry's network of hackers and contractors hired to illegally access phones, email, and confidential data of virtually anyone the prince demanded spying on. For years, Avery and others say Harry relied on that blackmail exposure operation to craftily manipulate media narrative dominance and dictate damage control spin on any emerging royal scandals, all while fiercely protecting his precious image and showering himself sympathetically as some tortured, irascible spirit fighting for mental health against cold palace constraints. With a few clicks and cash disbursements, Harry could tap virtually any staff member, associate, or even distant relatives if their communications were considered security risks to his agenda, Avery detailed in sworn federal testimony, which formed a substantial basis for issuing today's arrest warrants and charges. None of it was ever for any higher purpose, just pure greed and control-freakish paranoia about not being the constant public focus. Even more salacious, DOJ materials allege Harry routinely spied on Prince William's wife Kate Middleton and her inner circle without their awareness or consent, fueled by deep jealousy over her securing the more enviable spouse and inherent spotlight. Similarly, is accused of obsessively prying into the affairs and communications of any potential wife prospects William explored, either hoping to dig up exploitable scandal or preempt any viable alternatives usurping Harry's prominence. Harry was essentially a sick, twisted, out-of-control peeping Tom completely unraveled by his envy of William's stable home life, Hostin told reporters. He made it his sole obsession to submarine any positive female presence entering his brother's orbit through spying, leaks, intimidation, harassment, whatever it took to neutralize and discredit them. The DOJ official specifically cited the case of Williams' ex-Lady Brittany Yapsley, who endured years of reputation sabotage and covert privacy violations. Federal prosecutors now directly blame on Harry's unethical machinations and lust for petty retaliation after Yapsley briefly rekindled her romantic bond with the heir apparent. This went beyond boorish bullying. Prince Harry enlisted cyber mercenaries to perpetrate vicious criminal stunts like splicing Britney's intimate spyware recordings with hired porn actresses to fabricate publicly leaked tapes falsely depicting her in compromising situations. The intent was extortive, concrete, and clear. In addition to the suspected wiretapping and hacking crimes, Prince Harry also faces money laundering and fraud charges related to alleged shady payroll practices, funneling hush payments to contract hackers while faking IT consultancy and security service invoices inside palace creditor networks. These rich royals loved slumming in the espionage gutter, but now their gross bloody privilege has run out, Hostin proclaimed. Harry viewed laws and civil rights as just expendable props to be trampled anytime it suited his narcissistic jealousies, feuds, or publicity stunts. So we're making sure America deploys accountability where monarchies failed. Meghan Markle's alleged central role in today's harrowing arrests remains more ambiguous. The Duchess was taken into custody on potential charges of conspiracy, obstruction, and accessory after-the-fact violations predicated on suspicion she had knowledge of Harry's criminal enterprises while actively profiting from their windfall benefits via the couple's media/branding empire. However, DOJ sources caution deeper culpability on her part remains unclear at this point in a sprawling, complex probe that could implicate other potential co-conspirators still being investigated. Some federal agents believe her shock arrest stems largely from attempts to improperly leverage spousal privileges and stonewall cooperation in dismantling Harry's darkest secrets. Unlike Meghan's past alleged royal bullying, we're not playing make-up games here. There's no walking this one off or coaching staff into diffusing the media situation, asserted one senior agent involved in today's raid. She's looking squarely at potential RICO charges if evidence confirms helping Harry conceal any tangible fraud or misconduct, totally different arena from workplace diva antics. News of the arrests and high-profile prosecutions naturally lit the internet ablaze, with trending hashtags like #PaidToPlayPalace, #McCrimeFamily, and #MegExit2022 dominating social media chatter, relentlessly slamming the disgraced couple's plummeting reputations as America's latest pariahs. Major corporations and nonprofits scrambled to sever all ties while voraciously scrubbing their Harry/Meghan content assets from ads and promotional platforms over fears of brand contamination. Acting with unusual speed, Netflix immediately sliced all projects with Archie Productions, including the couple's heavily hyped, at-home, docuseries anticipated to premiere next month and a Pearl animated series championed by Markle. And publishing giant Random House walked away from all existing Harry memoir commitments, permanently terminating its lucrative book deal. While previously sympathizing with every bratty stunt from these royally self-obsessed grifters, Americans are waking up to the ugly deceptions and criminal behavior corrupting Harry and Meghan's nauseating truth tour from day one, exclaimed outspoken PR consultant Mitchell Nguyen. Now we're watching Hollywood sacrifice them as fast as humanly possible in hopes of at least preserving some standing and dignity. It's clear the extraordinary criminal prosecutions leveled against Prince Harry, in particular, imperil the couple's storybook comeback narratives painstakingly engineered since exile from the royal family. And his ongoing pre-trial incarceration could rapidly drain their estimated $60 million fortune, enduring protracted legal fees, especially as once lucrative corporate fundraising and brand partnering opportunities suddenly evaporated. Whether the arrests ultimately